folks. This is Morning Journal Session 295, and I'm sitting here with foggy glasses and a little humidity, but there's an important thing I want to start the conversation today with. Divine Nesquik is motivated as a visual artist to get their work out in front of people, to be seen. And I think one thing that all artists, all creative people need to realize, that shipping your work is a part of the process. Like, it's a part of the practice. Showing your work and shipping your work is a part of the practice. So it is cool, it's nice to work on stuff and get the gratification of being engaged in something creative. But you got to ship. That's like a part of the practice. You get stagnant if you just keep making things and hide them somewhere. It's almost impossible to grow if your work isn't shared with other people, because you just get caught in this sort of self-referential, you don't get any feedback. You don't have any idea of, there isn't any gift in your art if you don't share it. And I think art is inherently a gift. It's something that doesn't have to be, but we're all glad that is. It's better than it needs to be. There's a gift there and you have to give it. So sharing is a part of the practice. So I'm glad that you're motivated, Nesquik, to share your work. It's really important. So yeah, we're live, and I'm grateful for everyone who is watching and listening. We have a few questions that we're going to ask today and give you an opportunity to think about. So we're going to get into some stuff about belief, or beliefs, the things that we hold to be true. Some things we hold very closely held beliefs. Beliefs that are so closely held that they kind of a part of who we are, like our identity. But sometimes we find out, or we come to the conclusion that this thing that we believe, or the things that we believed, aren't necessarily, we don't hold on to those anymore. So is there something that you used to believe? Maybe it didn't serve you anymore. Maybe you were in error and you recognized that, or you grew and you was like, you know what? Let go. That's not it. So I used to believe, if you wanted to think about a way to start this, I could have just made the prompt, I used to believe, but I wanted to make sure that we were talking about, things that were closely held, because easily we could say, oh, I used to believe that I used to believe that, that chips were too salty. But, no. Always can use some more salt. Enter a nickname, Bailey. Thank you for joining us. All right. I think we all here. What closely held beliefs have you let go of? And that could be, I know this can be a little bit of a tricky question, because maybe you are ashamed to admit something that you believed. It's like, you used to think that? Ew. What's wrong with you? You crazy? So if you want to answer anonymously, you can. But our beliefs tend to be a filter through which we view possibility. We view the whole world through the filter of our beliefs about ourselves and what we are capable of. So Alexa says, I used to believe that my eating disorder controlled me and that I was just stuck with it. Now I am recovering and learning to retrain my thoughts and narrative around food. So I used to believe that it controlled me. That's being controlled is a powerless feeling. And if you're in that place, sometimes it's hard to find the will to act if you feel like it's hopeless. So I'm glad that that is a belief that you have let go. Noble Ancient says, I used to closely believe that my family was the reason I designed games. They no longer play tabletop games, and I'm the only one that continued that passion. I let that go as they showed me. So maybe they planted the seed. I mean, you were in an environment where you were exposed to it, but the passion that you have runs a bit deeper than that. You saw it differently. Thank you for the like, Bailey. Closely held beliefs. Misfire says, I used to believe that everyone was inherently good. Nah. Some people actively want to be evil. Gotta have balance, I guess. Gotta have balance, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess you can't have one without the other. One is meaningless without the other. And everything includes its opposite. Everything includes its opposite. So Noble says, as I grew up, they had game nights and played games during holidays. Now hardly anyone in my family does much anymore. It's saddening. Well, maybe they have other things that they do that they enjoy. So Chola Army says, I used to believe I'd never see myself to be a supervisor in all my jobs. So you moving up, or you feel at least that it's possible for you to move up in those positions so you can take care of your family, maybe earn a little more, maybe free up some of your time. So that's a beautiful possibility to wake up to, a belief to have. So congratulations on that. Whether it's forthcoming or whether it's already happened. So enter a nickname says, I used to believe that intelligence equals rationality. Enter a nickname says, I used to think that intelligence equals rationality. Those are two independent qualities. You can have one without the other. All right. That's absolutely. Someone anonymously shares that I used to strongly believe family should always be there for each other, but it seems not to be that way. I mean, yeah, they're still there for each other, just not like how we were. So you had a picture of what family is like or should be like, and it hasn't cracked up to be that way. One of the important things to realize, I guess, is that it's true that I think we have to keep in mind that nothing exists in isolation. the way that families work has always been influenced by the cultural context in which they exist. The traditions and the ways of being are not completely shielded from the world that it exists in. So some of the things that families did together and the ways that they were constructed are very different because the society is very different. The things that we learn are very different. And our ability to connect with other people, to sort of move beyond the insular village or the family of birth, because we have those options. A lot of times the ties and connections from our birth family specifically are not what they were. You know, when you lived in a time, you know, where you never left the village where you were born or the small area, you knew everyone that you would ever come in contact with, and everyone knew you. There was one way that family acted. And then, you know, as people moved around and, you know, families formed different functions. So some of it is could be a little saddening because you have traditions and things that you want to keep going, and, you know, but I think some of it is inevitable, and maybe some of it is healthy. I know we kind of romanticize the past sometimes as if it was perfect before, but there were a lot of problems before. A lot of issues that were never surfaced. There's a lot of ways that people harmed each other within the context of a family, and there was no means of redress or escape. There's a lot of pain kind of embedded in that idea of family. So we have to make sure that we don't overly romanticize the close-knit family idea from the past, because we don't, you know, we can't act like, oh, let's not pretend that there wasn't a lot of dysfunction and harm in that context. We just have to figure out and design and, you know, work in the context of the relationships that we want to create. So here we are, beliefs that we have let go, closely held beliefs. So Geist says, I used to believe that the circumstances you were born into govern the experiences and opportunities available to you. I know better now, and I'm grateful to have realized that early on. So coming to the realization that you can transcend the circumstances that you were born in. You are not locked into that reality. It might not be easy. There's certainly some momentum, and that's created by the direction that you're pushed into, and you're going to be under the influence of all the things that are in your environment. But influence is not destiny. You still can grow beyond. It takes work, but it's worth it. If there is something greater that you see possible for you, you have to work on yourself and overcome those things. So that's a powerful belief. It's a powerful belief. Little Ducky, what's up? Welcome. We're talking about beliefs that we have let go of. Closely held beliefs that we've let go of. Oh man. We're going to get ready to go into the next prompt. If y'all are good to go, let me know. I don't know why I say that. I'm going anyway. I don't know why I say that. I forget that there's a delay, and by the time you tell me, we're just going to have to rock with it. So the next prompt. So Joel Army says, I want to know if Betty and Ms. are still here. Betty? Who's Betty? Are you talking about Bex? And Mez? Yeah, they still come around. I don't know a Betty. All right. You're like, yeah, them. Yes, they still come around on occasion. A few times a week, usually. All right. So here's another question. And I think it's a great segue from Geist's answer about being able to grow and transcend your circumstances. So if you recognize that possibility, and a lot of us saw things in ourselves, the beliefs that we held closely were beliefs about ourselves. So let's think about this. What's the most difficult change that you're currently seeking to make? What's the most difficult change you're currently seeking to make? I think our capacity to change is predicated upon our belief that change is possible. I think it leans on that real heavy. It's hard to move beyond the what we believe is possible. We kind of get in that space, locked into that space. So let me open up the request box for you. And let me know, what is the most difficult change you are currently seeking to make? All right. So here we are. Yeah. the change I needed to make was to turn on the fan and let some cool air blow in because it's sweltering in here. I don't know what the deal is. Heat rises. I'll tell you that. Alexis says the hardest change is allowing myself to get to the causation of my ED, eating disorder, so that I can heal those thought patterns and start changing my narrative with food. Getting to the root cause is always difficult. Constantly working on the symptoms and not getting to sort of the root cause can leave you stuck in a frustrating cycle. Noble Ancient says the most difficult change I am seeking to make is to reach my full potential, but that includes a name change to match mine here, and for origin to become full origin to match. All right. Jill Army says, my difficult change is myself to become a better husband to my wife. So I got to be a better husband. Well, that's worthy. That's worthy. If you want to have a better relationship, a better connection with your spouse, you recognize there's some things that you need to work on within yourself to make that happen. Misfire, thank you so much for the like. Alexis, Noble, thanks for keeping those coming. RL, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for the like. All right. Difficult change. As we've mentioned before, change is inevitable. Either we can be intentional about it, or we can let it happen randomly. You know, we can try to steer the ship, or we can just let it drift. So the change that someone anonymously is saying that I'm going to trust people and let my guard down to genuine people. So being willing to trust again, it can be a difficult thing to do if you've had some bad experiences. It can be difficult to trust again. But it is necessary if we are, because we do need other people. There's not much that we can do without the support, assistance, collaboration, partnership with other people. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, but everybody needs somebody. And everybody is needed by somebody. So being willing to trust again so that you can reach more of your potential, maybe. All right. So, shall we move on to the next one? Geist says, I believe that the most difficult change is the ever-present struggle to be a better version than my current self. It's a non-stop evolution. So the reason that it's a struggle is because there's some intention behind it. It's not just it's neither willy nor nilly. You thinking about it, you have an image, version 2.4, 2.5, And I guess the clearer the image that you have, the more able you are to make the choices that move you in that direction. So what does a better version of yourself look like? How clear is that image of a better person in your mind? Better is possible, but what does better look like? Can you see it? So Giselle is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Are we all done with school? Are we all set? You started your summer. I know it's ramping things down. Well, congratulations. I hope that it was a successful campaign. And now that you can have a little bit of time maybe to do some things that you enjoy. It's like, yet I'm up early. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with being up early. Being up early isn't a problem when, you still have the freedom to choose what to do with that time. I think being up early is a plus. You can get a lot out of the day. So here's another question for you. What has surprised you about how your life has turned out so far? This is really awkwardly worded. A little typo in there. Should be what has surprised you the most about how your life has turned out so far. What has surprised you the most about how your life has turned out thus far? That is the next question. All right. Tim was like, man, I fell asleep. Welcome back. Chella Army says, what surprised me the most? My kids wife and being a father. It's like, man, I didn't see that coming. Alexis says, what has surprised me the most is that I finally work for the company I wanted to work for since I was 6 years old. Maybe not in the capacity I dreamt of, orca trainer, but I do work Orca Stadium, so, boom. There we go. That seed was planted and it didn't come the way that you expected, but you are in the arena. Noble Ancient says that I'm surprised that my life has turned out this good so far. I am here where I am needed most and am surrounded by others that are solidly unique as I am. It's getting better daily. It's getting better daily. Well, it's good to see that it's getting better. Tim says, how my life was surprised me. I'm still married, 10 years in July. I made it this far. Congratulations on that 10 years of wedded bliss. Well, some bliss and some life, but 10 years strong. That's really impressive. Right. Talking about them surprises. Misfire says that I am actually okay. I thought I'd be aggressively houseless person suffering with mental illness. I'm doing well with great relationships and connections, and I am joy. Wow. Can't imagine. Couldn't have imagined things could have gone this well for me. What a surprise. Well, I'm glad it's a happy surprise and that you are better situated than you imagined that you would be. That's great. So these are all good surprises that I'm hearing so far. These are all good surprises. I'm surprised of how much I've traveled in my life, yet maybe so grateful. Yeah, so grateful. Yeah. I've traveled so much and I'm grateful for it. There you go. All right. Shine is here. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We're just about to go to the next prompt. We're just in time for that changeover. All right. So we're going to get this last one here, and then we're going to look at the next question. So hold your responses to the background for just a second. Guy says, everything, honestly. I still remember all the dreams and aspirations that my younger self held on to for so long. It's crazy to realize just how much they've changed and evolved as I got older. So you're not even wanting the same types of things that you wanted before. And the fact that when you look back at that, when you look at that reality that you have, that your desires have evolved, you can take some comfort in the fact that some of the things that you're clinging to now that you feel like you just have to have may need to, maybe you need to let them go a little bit. Maybe there's something better. I don't know. Everybody do me a favor and drop some green hearts in the chat. I'm going to reset the request box for the next one. And this question, what scares you about the future that you are currently living into? What scares you about the future that you are currently living into is the vibe that we on right now. So let me know. You got a picture of, you got an idea, a picture of what things, if you keep going the way you're going, where you're going to end up. You got at least an inkling on the way things are headed. So, is there anything scary in that scenario for you? And I use the word scary. I mean, but it doesn't have to be all the way a bad thing. Sometimes we need to do the things that scare us a little bit. It's sort of proof or evidence that you're challenging yourself. Or on the other hand, it could be that, hey, you need to tighten up. It's a rock it's a rock in your path. So, Retha says, hey, back to Tim over on YouTube. Saw your comment in the chat. So yeah, what scares you? That's the question. Scares you about the future that you are currently living into. Of course, we can't predict it. How is Ms. Retha doing today? Is the next questions. May I ask? You just did. You did ask. So I guess the question is, will she say? So one of the things that recently someone sent me sort of something to edit that they were going to send, like an email they were going to send out. And they started, like I said, I would like to welcome, they started with, I would like to welcome. And I took that out. I just said, welcome. Like if you don't have to tell me you want to do it, just do it. Just say it. Welcome. It's like, I would like to say, no, don't tell me what you would like to say. Just say it. And I'll get that that's what you would like to say if you just say it. Let's lose some of those words. Oh man. I would like to take a moment to thank. Just thank them. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think it's fine in speaking to use those words, but when it's written down, it's extra. All right. Let's see what y'all got to say here. I mean, I haven't been watching the chat. All right. Noble Ancient. Noble Ancient says, there isn't anything that really scares me about the future, as I live my life literally one day at a time, and I enter each midnight reset with curiosity more than fear. Well, there we go. Noah says, I ain't scared. I ain't scared. I ain't worried about nothing. Radical presence. So Giselle says, the unknown of not knowing if I'm getting into drumline. It's like just the anticipation. Am I going to make the line? So have you seen that movie Drumline? With Nick Cannon? Giselle, have you watched that movie? You said you've seen part of it. You got to sit there. You got to watch the whole thing. You got to watch the whole thing. As a drummer, I think you might find it. Inspiring. I don't know what you play, but yeah, you might find a little bit of inspiration in there. So Retha is happy to report that she's good. Thanks for the hearts. Tim, we're watching Drumline. Giselle's trying to make Drumline in school, and I just gave the recommended. Hey, watch Drumline. I don't want to, there's no spoilers, but yeah, just watch it. All right. So Tim says, I'm scared that I may not be able to give everyone the attention that they deserve. I might not be able to give everyone the attention that they deserve. Yeah. Yeah, that's I know that could be challenging. The way that your life and the relationships are set up is sometimes it can be, you have to make some difficult decisions about how and with whom you spend your time. And that might result in some disappointment or hurt feelings that you have to navigate. So I definitely get that. Definitely get that. You're like, yeah, I may not have a GF much longer. Might not have a girlfriend much longer. Because she wants attention that you don't have. So she's not a good fit for your current situation. And that might result in you needing to step away. You might have to fall back. Well, I guess the main thing is communicating. Sometimes we think people need more from us than they actually do. We think based on the way things have been, that's the way that they need to be for the other person to be happy. So I guess it's important. You might be under that impression, but you got to confirm that that's the case, right? October is here early. Hi, October. Oh, it's Corey. Okay. So scared. Miss Fire says, I'm scared of losing my wife, Tim. Also success, like having to work harder and harder to keep up with the demand and expectations. So fear of success. It's like, yeah, if I do well on this, that means there's going to be an escalation in expectation. That escalation is one of the things that keeps us from growing, because we are afraid that this is a never ending, it's a never ending road of escalating expectations. So why even bother to do well? Because that just means they're going to expect me to do well, even better next time. So it's important, right, to think about that. But that is really an illusion, because doing your best work is not something that is really predicated on anyone else's expectations of you. The best that you have to offer is the best that you have to offer. And outside expectations don't have to dictate your effort and ability to produce and perform. That's really is an illusion, really. So you kind of have to work with that and understand that it's not really true. That your success has to become a burden to you. Don't let that stop you. You know what I mean? Don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you from doing the best that you can do right now. What's the best right now is always it's a fluid situation, Marie is here. Hi, Marie. So is Connor. Thanks for being here, folks. And thank you for the likes. We're talking about the things that scare us about the future that we are currently living into. We're living in a direction right now. It might be a little scary. So what scares you? So Alexis says that the scary thing about how I'm living is if I continue on my current path of how I want to eat, it would be a fatal decision. That is why I'm fighting so hard to work towards recovery. Yeah. When you recognize that and when you continue to bring that to your awareness, It makes it a little bit easier to make good decisions in the moment. So October says, my mom being more rude to me, all because I want to move to Oklahoma. That's something that you are scared. It scares you about the future that you're living into, the reaction to the choices that you're making about where you want to live. Yeah, we don't make our choices in a vacuum. There are people who are connected with us that have a stake in it, or at least they believe they do. If we have relationships, then others have a stake in our choices. Alicia, good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right. Scares you about the future that you're living into. Geist says, it's the extra responsibility that comes with being my own boss. There's an entirely different mindset that goes with being a successful freelancer. Change can be scary, but necessary in order to thrive. So yeah, it's like, being my own boss, being a freelancer, can be a little rough, a little scary. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes it's, I know that you're going to be a developer and going out and trying to drum up business. Is a tough thing. I don't know. It might be interesting to, a lot of times people leverage freelance work into sort of, a paid gig, with a company, or vice versa. People get a job and then leverage that into freelancing and maybe developing some of your own ideas. There's a lot of different paths to go. I guess the thing is not to let that fear prevent you from doing the steps necessary to put yourself in position to win. So Marie says, repeating cycles is what I'm scared of. They didn't tell us life would be so boring, complicated, frustrating when we grew up, for those who do grow up. Boring. Is your life boring, Marie? I think Marie just has sort of a restless spirit. So Connor Kenway says, I'm scared that the Russians might attack the U.S. Well, I don't know if you have anything to do. I don't know if there's anything that you could do about that. That's sort of, an existential threat or something, that's kind of in the air that you don't really have any control over. There's an ambient fear. And as touchy as it seems now, I'm old enough to remember when it was much more of a clear and present danger, so to speak. There are periods in the past where it seems we were on the brink many times. And as, complicated as the world situation is right now, I remember, drills. But, that's something that's beyond us. At least for the context of this conversation, We have another prompt for you. Let's get ready to do that. Again, thank you all for being here. So we looked at the fear. Now let's look at another side. We looked at the fear. Now let's take a look at the possibility and what excites you about the future that you can create. I don't know what my state was when I did these. These are all old prompts, and they're riddled with typos and missed words and stuff. What excites you about the future that you can create? What excites you about the future that you can create? This is a rewind. And I didn't have time. Well, I didn't proofread and remake them. But I thought this was a good one to come back to. I did fix them in the recap. I think so. I think I did. That's what y'all heard me typing. If you did hear any clickety clack, that was me trying to do the recap screen. So what excites you about the future that you can create? Because I think, when you can balance the fear, the excitement, if you're more excited than you are afraid, then you can face things and make progress and build confidence. So moving out, meeting my soulmate, having kids, that's exciting. It's exciting. Giselle says, I'm excited for the music I will and can create in the future. It is exciting, especially when you are growing as an artist. You can see the path that you're on. You can feel yourself getting better. You're falling more in love with the process, and it's an exciting proposition. Absolutely. So Tim says, I'm slightly excited about maybe having children. There's a lot of hedging in there. I'm slightly excited about maybe having children. Emphasis I added, but growing our businesses and getting closer to financial freedom, that's an exciting proposition. Noble Ancient says that the chance and opportunity to reach full potential and get my dream goal is what excites me about the future. I take that journey a day at a time too. So much fun. The day by day move towards your full potential. It's exciting to know that you can get better, even if it's just a little bit better every day. Or even if it's not every day, if the sum of your days over the course of time look like you getting just a little bit better, that's enough to be exciting. When you imagine when you look back at how far you've come, you can get excited about how far you can go. Alexis says that what excites me is actually happening now. I started hypnotherapy to address causation, working through workbooks to reinforce better behavior, and ultimately becoming healthy. So becoming healthy is an exciting proposition. You can already imagine how much better you will feel. All right. The fact that I can create my future excites me within itself. The fact that life is boring, complicated, and frustrating. Oh, the contrast. To know what I don't want, the more to see you with, my dear. I did like 12 different voices in there. Oh man, so let me read it again and try to make sense of it. The fact that I can create my future excites me within itself. The fact that life is boring, complicated, and frustrating. Oh, the contrast. To know what I don't want, the more to see you with, my dear. Oh man. All right. Me and Marie have gone back and forth about that. Misfire. I'm excited about all co-creation happening in my life, my work with my art, my life. It's exciting times and I'm here for the work. Guys, it's like somebody's waxing poetic, I see. This is just me giving Marie a hard time. So co-creation. Co-creating, making things together in work, art, and life. All right. So yeah. So those are a lot of exciting things. It's good to have something exciting to look forward to, something to give us the courage to face our fears, the sense of anticipation. So yeah, let's go do it. Give you a couple seconds to think about that, and then we're going to get into our recap. All right, now we have an opportunity to share some key takeaways. What are your key takeaways from today's session? Any of the prompts, whether it's any of the prompts that we used during the live session, or if it's something that we did in affirmations, something that you saw in the chat. What are your key takeaways from today's session? Miss Fire says, success is not something to fear, but something to respect. Success is not something to fear, but something to respect. All right. It's a great takeaway. When you recognize in yourself, when you see yourself sabotaging your efforts because you're afraid of that escalation, don't worry about that. Just do your best. Tim's takeaway is the future is now. Be the you want to see in the future. go ahead and start being it. You ain't no need to wait. Go ahead and start being it now. So a key takeaway from Noble Ancient. My ultimate key takeaway from this super episode is that my experience levels are high enough to defeat demons daily, but not enough to reach full potential yet. Not enough to reach full potential yet. Yeah. Another takeaway for 10 minutes. I'm still going to wait on kids to, all right, you can mess around, keep waiting if you want to. Mess around and keep waiting if you want to. Then, there ain't going to be kids that you haven't. Mess around and wait, you're going to be raising some tadpoles, some pollywogs. Oh. Thank y'all for the likes. Appreciate it. Key takeaways. Alexa says, eventually my eating disorder will have no power over me. Until that day, it is important to be kind to myself and just learn and grow from the experience. The journey isn't overnight. There we go. It's not an overnight thing. Gotta stay committed. The takeaway for Geist is that life is beautiful, exciting, and intoxicating. I just want to experience as much as I can and live life vibrantly. Live life vibrantly. That's a great way to live life. So someone is answering some of the prompts, I guess, in the background. Surprised. What has surprised you the most? Man, people are so strange. Most people are lost. It's so sad. People handle you according to their perception of you, so mistrusting and judgmental. Who scared you like that? It's good to know. Noble, come on, man. Geist is looking to take lessons in futter whacking vigorously. It's too early to be vigorously futter whacking. Not vigorously. Don't need to be in here whacking futters. Oh, man. Out here frolicking. Marie out here frolicking. Oh, man. Don't be whacking footers or licking froze. So October says that I've let go of Christianity. I use crystals and chakras and have embraced my gift of being a medium. All right. Noble's like, see, Geist got it. Geist got it. Hey, look, Noble. If I see something I can work with, I'm gonna work with it, okay? Oh man. So October's got poltergeist throwing stuff around the room and they got to go pick it up. I hear you. That seems like a lot of work. Thank y'all for the likes. Appreciate it. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a second, say goodbye to the folks watching. We'll have a few moments to hang out with the VIPs, and we'll see y'all folks over here. Everything works out. We'll see y'all again on Monday.